Just some crazy dancing going on at IMPAC5, I gotta tell you guys. My name is Jesse. I'm your virtual adventure guide here with Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants. And I know we've got some familiar faces in the crowd today, but we also have classes that signed up from Thailand, Portugal, India, Pakistan, Spain, Brazil, South Africa. It's a crazily geographically diverse audience today. And so if you are joining us for the first time, we are all about bringing conservation, adventure, and science into classrooms around the world. And if you've been joining me this week, you will know that this marks the end of our amazing IMPAC5 series in conjunction with some of the most incredible young advocates, conservationists, scientists from around the globe joining live in Vancouver for IMPAC5, the International Marine Protected Areas Congress, where the world is coming together to talk about and work towards a future with healthy oceans. As I said yesterday, if there's a better goal than that, I don't know what it is, but I've been so privileged and honored to have had the chance to do these amazing programs over the last few days. So thank you so much if you're joining us again. It is great to have you back. As you will have heard me say over the last couple of days, this program series has been made possible in conjunction with the amazing teams at the Canadian Ocean Literacy Coalition and the All Atlantic Blue Schools Network. I really encourage you to check out those links. There's some really great stuff on the go that you guys can get involved with your class. Now, before we dive in, I'm going to turn it over to Diz, the head of the Canadian Ocean Literacy Coalition, the mastermind of this entire scheme of programs, so that she can explain a little bit about what this is all about. I'll pop back in, introduce our speaker for the day, and we will get underway. So Diz, thank you so much for joining us for the fourth and final time during this series. Nice to see you again.
Great to see you, Jesse, and good morning, good afternoon to all the students. We are so excited to see the range of schools from across so many countries joining us today. And we've got our last speaker here. It's been a fantastic week. Here at IMPAC5, as Jesse noted, the leaders around the world who are really driving conservation change in terms of marine protection, ocean conservation, have been gathering. So there are educators, NGO conservationists, policymakers, storytellers, Indigenous leaders, and important and specific to this event here is a whole team of young professionals from dozens of countries. And not only are they here to participate, but they're actually here to help organize the conference, to lead many of the sessions, and to really lean in on some of the decision-making that's happening here around meeting that global goal of protecting 30% of the ocean by 2030. And what's fantastic and why we've made time for these four amazing young professionals, one each day this week, to reach out to all of you, is that not only are they helping to lead the way, but we need all of you to help lead the way. There's one global interconnected ocean, and it's going to require a global effort. So students all the way up, right up to the decision makers and folks across all countries are needed to help drive this change. So thanks for being here. Make sure you say a big thanks to your teachers for making time, and we're going to turn it over to the real expert.
Marie-Philippe, thank you so much for that. Diz, again, it's been a real pleasure getting to do this series of amazing IMPAC5 broadcasts. And Marie-Philippe and I know each other because we get the chance to work on this incredible project and network together, which is sort of the essence of what we've been talking about at IMPAC5 all week long. When you have a diversity of groups, of perspectives of people around the globe working together for a common goal, you can accomplish more than you ever would do alone. And so Marie-Philippe is going to be here today to tell us about her personal nature story, leading into the incredible work of the Nature for All Global Network, and particularly coming up, or starting actually right now, is the Nature for All Global Love Fest. Some great stuff going on with partners around the globe. And so, without further ado, I'm going to bring up your slide deck. Marie-Philippe, thank you so much for joining us today, and take us away.
Thank you, Jesse. And thank you, Diz, as well, for the invite, and hello, everyone in classroom. So as Diz mentioned, and Jesse also mentioned it, I'm Marie-Philippe, but you can call me MP. So my pronouns are she, her, elle. I'm from Quebec, Canada, but today I'm live from Vancouver. And I wanted to acknowledge that I am on the traditional territory of Musqueam First Nation, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh Nations. I've been working for Parks Canada in multiple roles in the past 6 years, and I'm joining you today on behalf of the Commission on Education and Communication, CEC, of the IUCN, which is the International Union for Conservation of Nature. In today's presentation, I'll have the chance to talk a bit about me, about my nature story, and what inspired me to be where I am today. So, after I will turn that over to you, and so we can learn from each other and hear your nature story. So, I want to start with a first question for you. What is the nearest park from where you are? So I think you can use the chat box, or you can just mention it to your teacher in the class. It could be a national park. It could be a marine protected area. It could be a reserve. Please feel free to pop that in the chat.
Well, I'll tell you while we're having students
Yeah.
do that too, if they want to share that in the chat, either in StreamYard or YouTube. For me, it's Gross Mourne National Park here in the Western Newfoundland, which is the gem of Canada's national park system. So I hope our students are so close to some pretty special places as well. And our first comment, 100 meters away from someone to their nearest park. They didn't name the park, but just how close it is fantastic on YouTube. Great job, guys. Huh.
That's so nice. And Jesse, you kind of have the best park.
We do.
Around
Everyone's jealous of me with my park.
Yeah. Okay, so now the second question for you, and I guess it's multiple question. As we move in the fun part of the presentation, I want you to think about your nature story. When did you felt in love with nature? Have you already fallen in love with nature? If not, who around you can be a good person to explore nature with you? Your brother, sister, friends, grandmother. What makes you want to protect nature? When I say nature, you can think of birds, plants, parks near your house, your garden, rivers, lake, ocean, forest, butterflies. Be creative. For me, I think everything really started when I was your age. At that time, I didn't really realize that all this time spent in nature with my family would have a big influence in my life. I've been an explorer, of course. I always felt great in nature. But for so long, I didn't realize that big life decisions were influenced by it. Where I want to live, what I want to do with my friend over the weekend, which university I want to go to. I always tried to be as close as possible from nature and be outside as much as I can. You can imagine that only around 22 years old, I realized that my job could also be my passion. This was such a haha moment for me. Being paid to talk about parks, help protect nature, land and water, experience outdoors, and play outside with colleagues that become friends. What a dream. But wait, I'm not a scientist. I didn't study environmental issue. I've never been into a camping trip for more than 2 nights in a row. Should I feel like a stranger? Maybe I'm useless and I can't help save our ocean and planet. But no, you know what? I've learned that my skills, energy, motivation, and love for nature really matters. We need everyone at the table. All the skills are welcome. We need lawyers, singers, communicator, educator, student like you, dancer, florist, designer. Everyone can make a difference, whether it's at home or at the office. So now, fast forward to a couple of years later, I'm having a blast collaborating with people that want to make changes and care for conservation. I've been realizing that I can't do it myself. I need my whole squad. I've been lucky enough to start working at Parks Canada and spend my first summer traveling around East Coast Canada, where Jesse is, to talk about Franklin Expedition Discovery. Then I was fortunate enough to experience being on a ship with almost more than 200 other passionate friends exploring Greenland and Nunavut with a program called Student on Ice. And this is where I met Diz. and then joined a program called Ocean Bridge when I did local-based community project in shoreline cleanup with people my age around Canada that care for ocean. I also travel with school, and I was so lucky to attend national and international gathering around parks, ocean, and nature in the past few years. And this is where really I realized that being open to those opportunities, recognizing that there's such diverse path to get to your goal. But the most important is that you need to follow your passion, take risk, and surround yourself by inspiring and caring people. Our love for nature allows us to connect with people from all around the world. This is what brought us all here today. Telling your story, sharing what you like, really can be powerful. So here's a story for you. And this is really the proof of the power of connection and friend and caring for ocean. This one is really fresh in my mind, so I wanted to share it with you. This story happened when I went on a trip with the Ocean Bridge Advisory Committee in Pacific Rim National Parks Reserve. I went with those strangers that really became quickly my friends, that were all passionate and so knowledgeable about ocean. They were telling me on our way to the beach about species that could be out there. I was really intrigued and really impressed about every fact they were telling me. Even if I didn't really understand all their explanation, I was so pumped and could really feel their passion. So next thing you know, we were walking on the beach, and then I stopped to drink some water. Then I start asking questions about what I was seeing around. Something really catch my eyes, as you can see in the picture. I realized that it was a starfish, a purple one, my first ever. I was so excited, and it was so magic to see them fall in love again with the species. When you share your story, share knowledge, experiences, you can feel energized by other people that are discovering and learning about something for the first time. For them, it was kind of common. Like, it wasn't worth mentioning that there was a purple sea star just there. For me, it was so unique and precious, and to have them share about it, feel their love of it, and kind of co-create this new core memory together. So that leads me to the impressive power of community. And perfect. Of communities. They can be big, they can be small, family, allies, and friends. Knowledge sharing and story is so easy to practice on a daily basis and can make a huge impact. You feel inspired, motivated, you feel safe, challenged, and your impact can be multiplied and much bigger. So this whole storytelling community mentor magic power are what inspired the creation of Nature for All. As Jesse mentioned, this is a movement that I really believe in. It's based on the core idea that the more you experience nature, so the more you access to nature, the more you'll care about it. It's a global movement to inspire love of nature. The power of people and community is what really drives me. You can tell, I guess, by this point. So I support the idea that the more people live, connect, and share a love story, the more support and action there will be for its conservation. So now, enough about me. Let's go see a quick video that I'm pretty sure will get us really inspired. Thanks so much, Jesse, for showing this video. I wish I was the one that took all this footage. It's awesome. So now I think that it's your time to shine and it's your time to get inspired and inspire others. As Jesse mentioned, 2 days ago, we launched the first ever Nature for All Love Fest. You'll be able to see people from around the globe, telling their story in a variety, of format. So photo, video, paint, writing, but you can also do it. I challenge you to take some times with your classes, at recess, even over the weekend with your friends and family, and think about your story. Create it and share it with us. In the context of the Storytelling Festival, Jesse also came up with a really fun initiative, and I will let him speak about it.
Well, thank you so much, Marie-Philippe. And I will say from the video too, I don't know how you get the gig as the person who scrubs the turtle, but I want that job. I don't know what they're scrubbing off the turtle, but that's my new life goal. I hope for our students as well. Yeah, so as Marie-Philippe mentioned, one of the things that we're doing at Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants for a Nature for All Love Fest activity is our 30 by 30 art campaign. So some of our classes live today or with us on YouTube might know that we ran 2 art campaigns in the end of 2022, the James Webb Space Telescope and our Coral Reef Art Contest. They were extraordinarily well received. We had over 500 submissions from I think 6 countries for both of them, which was amazing. But we wanted to come up with something special for the Love Fest and sort of bring together this expertise and the focus of all these different organizations around the globe into one special campaign. And so the idea for that was the 30 by 30 art campaign. So 30 by 30, as we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast in the IMPAC5 context, is this idea of getting to save 30% of the world's surface by 2030. This is an initiative and campaign that a lot of governments have signed on to. NGOs have used it as an advertising blitz to sort of highlight the importance of these intact ecosystems. And so we wanted to have kids submit drawings of what they want the world to look like by 2030. Maybe it's a replenished forest. Maybe it's an ocean teeming with wildlife. Maybe it's a bike lane near your house. It really doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's this vision of a brighter and greener place. And so you can check all that out below. It's been a few days in, and we've already had 94 submissions, 75 from kids in the Ukraine. So some of which are on the east side of Ukraine. So you've got kids literally in a war zone that are thinking about a positive future, not just for themselves in a peace context, but for the environment around them. And I think that's such a special and heartening thing. And I hope you all take a chance to check it out on the link below. I'll make sure all our classes have that too. So that's our campaign. But Marie-Philippe, I'd love to have you tell a little bit more about the other things going on and wrap us up with more of this Nature for All excitement.
Yeah, sure. No, so I think, as Jesse mentioned, it's really is your chance to share, and it is our chance to connect again, right? And be creative. So I think, just to wrap things up, I hope your takeaway from this conversation, and it's not the end, right? Like, we're turning that over to you. But I hope that I hope you understand that nothing should stop you for taking action for healthier, bluer, and greener planet. You know, there is many ways you can be supported to do that. You're not alone. There's lots of solution. Just ask questions, be creative and curious. It's so important to create intergenerational connection and collaboration to conserve nature. The power of storytelling can really transform our collective relationship with nature. So I want to say that together we can create billions of moments for people to fall in love with nature. Together, I think we can really make the world change. So thanks so much for making the time today. Now over to you guys, and over to you, Jesse.
Thank you so much for that. And it's something that we've had over the IMPAC5 series. It's something that we have in all our conservation broadcasts, is this power of individual stories. Because You can be vague in general all you want. And I think students these days especially live and breathe these concepts. They know these issues. They know how to get involved. They know what to do. But it's that personal connection you can make with someone that can be about the most trivial things. It can be about some backyard exploration they did. It can be about a experience they had in a trip. It can be about a movie that they saw when they were younger that really changed how they thought about the world. That I think is so special, because when you share those moments with people, it really leads to a lasting impact, I think, or at least causes people to stop and think. And again, have that link to a person as opposed to a broader idea. And so this is something that we're really trying to focus on in the Storytelling Festival, the Love Fest. And I hope students have taken that opportunity too, but so many of these things are so tiny. You can go out in the woods near your house. We had our help environmental leaders. They mentioned that their closest park is Westminster Ponds, which they have done so much incredible work with close to home. And so if you ever get the chance, Marie-Philippe, I'll link you in with them.
Yeah, sure. I want to see that.
But, going for a walk in those woods, you feel better. You feel different. Maybe it's calming for you or relaxing, or you see something amazing. And I mean, that happens every day. I think everybody has a nature story to share. And so as you said, there's billions of these stories out there, and we're trying to amass as many of them as possible. So it's exciting. Thank you for sharing your personal story, for linking into all those great resources for students. And I'm going to begin some questions. And not just questions, by the way, if classes have done anything, if they have a nature story that they're willing to share. I know that might be a little nerve-wracking for some, but you're more than welcome to come up and have that too. Marie-Philippe, I'll start off with a question while we're waiting for some of our YouTube friends in our live class. I'm going to head to our environmental leaders in a minute. We've highlighted Nature for All Love Fest. Is there a type of place or a type of experience that's been particularly impactful to you, whether it's being in the woods, on the ocean, sitting calming, and looking at nature, something that you've found to be particularly useful for you that you'd recommend to our kids today?
Yeah, sure. I think for me, it's just like making sure that I take time each day to go out and go in nature, because I can really see how it affects me if I don't do this. But also, it kind of is the best reminder to prove us that it's worth caring, it's worth working hard to protect this nature. So it's just like, you can't, if you're not outside, you can't really understand that you want to protect it, right? So just go outside. I think this is, yeah.
I have this chance in this job to get to have so many scientists and explorers come on, and I'm so jazzed every day. I think our students and you guys can tell I'm pretty excited about what I do. But if I sit too long at the computer, I get less and less excited by the minute. Then I go out, and in where I am right now, there's about 4 feet of snow. So sometimes I go out in snowshoes and sort of pad through and wade through all the thickets, but it's worth it because it makes you come back and you feel more alive and you're excited and you keep the excitement going. So,
and it doesn't need to be big. Like sometimes for me, it's just going to the mailbox, right? But don't take the car, like go to the mailbox. And it's just like, it's a reset in your day for sure. Yeah.
This is a nerdy follow-up to this before I head to London. But in Newfoundland, all our mailboxes in Corner Brook have like paintings of little houses on them. So it's a very colorful rainbow mailbox, and that makes it all the better. I think we should adopt these in Ontario.
Oh, we should do that. Okay. I'm in it. Yeah.
Grade 10s, before you head out to Westminster Ponds, hopefully right after this broadcast, if you want to unmute your mic and come on in London, you are good to go. Hey, guys.
Right on. This is Claire.
Hi. So,
Hi there.
You mentioned that you went on a lot of trips and expeditions. What was one of your favorite ones, and what did you get to help?
Ooh, good question. Oh, did we freeze? I think we froze for a second, unless she's just preternaturally happy at this moment. We're going to wait for Marie-Philippe to go. Oh, there she is. I think she might be back. And if not, I'll answer about some expeditions of my own, but I think she's good.
I'm back. I guess it's normal that we were frozen because the expedition was up north, right? Like it was freezing out there for sure. Jesse, I just want to make sure the question is what was my best moment out there?
Yeah, like an expedition you went on, a story that you can share from that, favorite thing, or something that you got to do when you were on that expedition. So that's perfect.
Yeah, I think I have a really nice, like really fun story. And this is not like when I saw the first polar bear, or it's not when I saw the first iceberg. It was late in the day, and up north during summer, the sun never really gets down. It's always bright, right? So we were tired. We were so tired. It's overwhelming. We learned so much things. And then I was there talking with friends, and I saw like something really bright outside, but it's almost 11 p.m., right? So I saw something really, really bright, and I was like, oh my God, this is the moon. Like, it's yellow. Wow, it's orange. Like, it's so shiny. So I was like, everybody come look at the moon. And we just like ran outside. And someone, like one of the scientists, were like, what are you talking about? Like, it's not the moon. This is the sun. And everybody for like 15 minutes thought that it was a moon. And we were all taking picture of in front of this yellow moon, and it was just incredible, and everybody was laughing so hard, and that became like the running gag during the trip, right? Because they thought that I was like so stoked about it that I convinced everybody that it was the moon, but actually it was the sun. We were just like so lost in time, and yeah, it was really nice and really special because you can't really see the sun as bright like around here in Quebec. Yeah.
That's a very nerdy story. I like it very much. And the fact that, again, anytime we get to highlight this sort of weird world that you have as you approach the poles, where you have like this midnight sun thing going on, or you have perpetual darkness, it's just endlessly fascinating to me that is the case. So I'm glad we got to highlight that. I was actually asked this, like basically the exact question yesterday in an interview about the Love Fest. And I mean, we've been talking about the fact that I'm in Newfoundland now. I moved here because of a nature story. Like, we literally came here, my wife and I, on independent trips in 2014 because of those incredible Newfoundland and Labrador tourism ads. And we got to experience Gross Mourne, which, as we've talked about, is this really special, unique place in the world. And we loved it so much that when a job opened up here for my wife, she said we could live close to that. And so we uprooted from Toronto to rural Newfoundland, in a town that we went from 3 million people to 20,000 people. And it's like the happiest 6 months of my entire life. And we've been there 5 times because that's the power of nature. It can draw you to decisions and ideas and challenges that you've never.
It's crazy. And how many like relative or friends you'll convince to come over just by telling your story, right? Like I'm buying my ticket. Like,
yes,
sure.
We got a spare room. We'll bring anyone who wants to come. Teachers, you guys can come visit too. I've had teachers visit Newfoundland so far. It's a good time. Help environmental leaders, you guys are more than welcome to come back for other questions. YouTubers, feel free to share there. We're going to hang out for another 5 minutes or so. But if Mystery and Pleasure's class, if you guys want to come on back in, you are good to go. Hey.
Hi, we're just on our way out because it's the end of our day. But thank you so much for those stories and for all the other classes that are watching. It's just a great initiative, and the 30 by 30 is huge. So hopefully we can do something awesome.
I'm excited to have you, and enjoy the end of your day, guys. Thanks so much for coming on in. Nice. Marie-Philippe, is there a place or an experience that you haven't had yet that you're particularly keen on in the natural world? Maybe it's visiting a park, maybe like a special park, a national park, maybe it's going somewhere, maybe it's being at IMPAC5 and having the chance to share these stories. Is there anything that jumps out for you?
Yeah, I think like with IMPAC5, what happened is that I'm adding all day long to my list of places where I want to go. But really what stood out for me, and maybe I'm a park, like I'm too much of a parky, and I really like Parks Canada. So it's I think for me the next goal is to go visit Guyanas, and this is something that it's kind of a dream. And a fun story about it is that some colleagues were downstairs all week long, and they had that outreach table, and they were giving stickers. And for some reason, I don't like to have sticker when I didn't really visit or experience anything related to that sticker, because I put it in my water bottle, and I feel like it's not fair to put it when you didn't visit it, right? So I was like, oh, am I taking a sticker? Like, should I do this? And then I was like, you know what? I want to be totally transparent. I'm taking a sticker, but this one is not for my water bottle. This is for my vision board. And so I think, yeah, this is the next one. It's so interesting. There's archaeology going out there. There's all the indigenous component of it, Indigenous community that are so much involved with parks. Yeah, it's really, and it's an island too. So I think that kind of feels special, yeah, in some ways. So I guess that is my answer.
I hope you get there soon. It's a really, really special part of the world. And what's been really exciting for me as a Canadian growing up is that places like Waihanas, but I mean, as a child, I had never heard of. And in fact, British Columbia in general, it was like, oh, it's the nice part of Canada. It's got some big trees, has become like an international tourist destination. Like people are like, wow, these are some of the most incredible forests in the world. Some of the most incredible Indigenous heritages here, which is another thing that's been a big part of Parks Canada's efforts in the last few years to highlight. And so the Parks Canada execs are really happy to hear you say that you're a Parkie and really keen on this. But we have such a special country here. And so many Canadians go to the States to explore, and the US is a beautiful, amazing place. But right in our backyard, you can explore some of the most incredible and diverse ecosystems, landscapes, and cultural heritage places on this planet. And that's a really special thing. So I'd be excited to see that vision board someday. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, sure. Jesse, can I turn back the question to you? Because I'm pretty curious to know what will be your next or dream destination.
Dream destination. I have more than you can shake a stick at. I would love to get to, I've been very lucky at this point to get to 5 continents. I'm hoping possibly to get to Australia this summer, and that would be a lot of fun. Uluru is a place that's always been a real sort of a dream destination for me. And in the future, Antarctica. I mean, every single person that we have the chance to feature on this program that goes to Antarctica goes back. Like it really profoundly affects them. And Students on Ice has been an organization that's gone to the poles, and you know, that impact that has on students and on people in general is really quite astonishing. It's like going to another planet, and it's a special thing. In Canada, I've never actually been to Vancouver Island or the islands above it, so I'd love to go there. And Kluane in the Yukon is I've never been to the Yukon. Is apparently one of the more special places in the country, and so one day I will get there. It's
you have your plan for the next coming 10 years.
I think so. Well, I think we're both the sort of people, and I think a lot of our audience are the sort of people that if you're going to spend money on anything, it's adventure, it's experiences, it's the opportunity to, you know, connect with different people in different places, cultures around the globe. And I think we've both been very lucky to have quite a few of those experiences, and I hope that we get many more to come. And it's so enriching to share those experiences with other people. You know, you can go travel and keep a scrapbook yourself, and that can be that. But if you highlight to others the insights or the new understanding that you gain from those experiences, I think it goes so much further to inspiring people to think about the world in a different way. And, you know, pinch myself daily that I'm lucky enough to get to do that. So thank you for that answer, Marie-Philippe. Fine people, we are nearing the end of the show. Time flies and you're having fun in these broadcasts. And so I'm going to bring back Diz in a second to do a joint farewell with everyone. While she's coming on over, I'll note again, if you guys want to check out the amazing work at IMPAC5, what happened, what's been discussed, all the amazing organizations involved, check out impact5.ca at IMPAC5 Canada. The Canadian Ocean Literacy Coalition is the leading. There are many candidates, but I've got to say the Ocean Literacy Coalition is a pretty special organization for highlighting amazing ocean work around the country. So do check them out below. And the All Atlantic Blue Schools Network is something that Diz actually introduced me to herself. An amazing group. You can connect with classes all around the Atlantic Basin and beyond, and I encourage you to check that out. And Ocean Week Canada has some incredible Indigenous resources for students that are keen. I know this is a topic of big interest to a lot of our teacher community at Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants, so I hope you check it out. I'm almost done links, I swear, before I come back to you. Just it's the linkiest presentation we've ever had in our history. If you want to check out Nature for All Global, all the stuff Marie-Philippe was talking about, specifically the Love Fest, check this out. And if you want to join in and contribute to our 30 by 30 art contest, I hope you do at the link below. Okay, I'm done clicking buttons, except for the one to bring back Diz and Marie-Philippe together. Thank you so much for being the ultimate, the final speaker of our series. Diz, thank you so much for bringing this together. And jointly, is there a last message you want to share about Nature for All, about IMPAC5 with our audience before we wrap up for the day?
I'll let the stage to Diz.
Merci beaucoup, Marie-Philippe. And thanks so much for joining in today. It's neat. I was sitting there reflecting on the 4 different speakers, and we intentionally chose 4 very different young professionals. looking back to Bodhi and starting Ocean Uprise, a real advocacy and kind of call to action for young people to get involved globally around cleanups and just connecting to coastal areas. And we had Neha, a marine biologist, who couples that with her passion for diving and just really creating an opportunity for people to get down under the water and see, connect with science in really unique and fun ways as a young professional. And then, of course, Ayamba, from Cameroon, young guy at the age of 18 who started his own NGO and is really doing incredible work to clean up community areas and watersheds that flow into the ocean areas around Cameroon. And then today with Marie-Philippe, to have more of a storyteller, someone who's reflecting on their personal life and personal connection to nature, and through art and stories, trying to inspire others to do the same. So 4 very different youth, all doing great work, really important work. And Jesse, thanks so much to you and the entire Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants team for hosting us and to bring a bit of IMPAC5 into classrooms around the world. We're grateful and look forward to working with you again. Thanks everyone for joining in.
Thank you so much, Diz. Thank you so much, Marie-Philippe. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Do check out that link. Impact5.ca is our one I'm going to leave on the screen, and we will end it off there. Have a wonderful time. Thank you for being involved with us as we share the magic of the oceans.